Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to College Grove United Methodist Church. I'm glad that you have heard God's call to worship in person or via YouTube this morning, and we are delighted that you are here with us. We have some guests this morning. Josephine Haley Hilliard Normand used to attend here 65 years ago. Raise your hand, Josephine. And she's back for a visit, so let's make her welcome. And her daughter, Suzanne Norman Blackwood, is along also. So welcome and welcome back home. Make yourselves at home this morning. The beautiful flowers on the altar today are given by the children of our church in order of Miss Peg's May 27th birthday. And we love you, Miss Peg. Congratulations. All right. Opportunities this week. The men's group will meet at 7 on Tuesday morning in the lower room. And the Sister Hearts are taking a little summer break, so we'll let you know when we start back up. The ice cream supper is coming on June the 12th. I hope you have that date circled and marked and scored and you're ready for that. I think Paige has something to tell us about that. Right here so our friends at home can see you?
Absolutely.
Those little red dots, if you just talk to those red dots.
Okay. So the first thing is for the ice cream social is you want to invite some people. Okay? They may or may not come, but nobody comes if you don't invite them. They don't just show up. So invite some of your friends or neighbors. We have complimentary tickets that I'll pass around. Y'all pass those off to somewhere there back there. We have complimentary tickets that we can pass around. In other words, if you invite your neighbor, you just put on there, let's say Rob and Julie invite a neighbor, and it says on there, you were invited, compliments of Rob and Julie. Now, if they come and they go through the line downstairs and they pop that little ticket in the pickle jar, then, Lee will say, hey, Rob and Julie, your person came, you'll pay for that person. If they don't show up, you don't have to worry about it. But it's just an easy way to invite a couple of people so that if they come, they're your guests and they're welcome. Okay, so invite people. It's a social, an ice cream social to raise money for the community. You can't have a social if you don't have people. So invite the people and they bring the money. Okay, so that's the way it works. The second part of that, as far as tickets go, is don't forget to get your quilt tickets. We've got this beautiful quilt that's going to be auctioned off. And if you've forgotten and you just kind of have dilly-dallied around and haven't gotten to it yet, pick up the phone and call Bobby. Bobby's got quilt tickets. And you can say, Bobby, I want an envelope. She'll write your name on the envelope, and then the night of the auction, she'll say, hey, you have money you owe for this ticket. So just make a phone call. Get your quilt tickets. All right, the second part is bring your auction item. Don't bring it yet, because we've got some stuff going on in the fellowship hall, but as it gets closer, you want to bring your auction item. Don't bring something old and crappy that nobody wants. That you would want to buy or that you would be excited about selling, okay?
What if it's an antique?
Well, if it's a fine antique, bring it. If it'll bring you money, bring it. But be very choosy about what you bring. But bring stuff. It's really fun to see all that stuff coming up on the auction, on the stage, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're going to have a great auction. All right, the third thing is your ice cream. If you're new, Donna says don't make your ice cream the day of the social or it'll be all mushy and soupy by that afternoon. Make your ice cream the day before. Go ahead and get it in the freezer and let it harden, and then we bring it to the fellowship hall and stick it in the freezer. Okay? The next thing is desserts. Everybody makes a dessert. They bring them to the basement so the ladies can cut them up, and that's the dessert as part of the barbecue. Okay? Now, there's two different kinds of desserts. If you're a patient with Plain Ramsey and you made a Betty Crocker box of brownies, that's the dessert to go downstairs. If you're George Amalotti and you made this form those friendships that you're going to have for years to come. So just 5 reminders to make it a really fun, successful ice cream social, and I'm excited because we're going to have a big turnout and it's not far away. So that's your reminder for this year's ice cream social. Now let's pass these around. Invite lots of friends.
Thank you, Paige. Because of things going on in the fellowship hall, don't bring any auction items until the Thursday before the auction. Are there other announcements this morning? Nobody told me anything else? All right. Well, today is Trinity Sunday as well as Memorial Day weekend. Trinity Sunday, we celebrate the ways that we know God, the ways that we can define God as Father and Son and Holy Spirit. And you've heard it explained a number of ways. It's like ice and water and steam. It's like the 3-leaf clover, 3 in 1 and 1 in 3. It's like I'm a pastor, a wife, a daughter, a mother, a sister, a friend, and a grandmother, all in one person. And each explanation falls a little short. So this morning I encourage you to listen for how God, Creator, Christ Redeemer, and Holy Spirit Sustainer makes you be able to define who God is and how God works in your life this morning. Happy Trinity Sunday. All right. Let's sing Happy Birthday to Peg this morning since she has flowers. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Next Sunday is Sing Our Favorite Hymns, and you all are a diverse crowd, and there are a lot of favorites. We might not get to every single one, but I promise you in the next couple of weeks we'll hit them all in worship. This day, our first hymn, Holy, 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 found on page 64, was also on the list for next week, so hear the hymnody behind Holy, Holy, Holy. It was written by Reginald Herber, who was born April 21st of 1783. He was a preacher's kid. He went and studied at Oxford, and he had a real gift for poetry. Following his study, he went back and served the parish that his father served in a small English village, and he dreamed of publishing a collection of hymns. But the bishop at that time in London said, no, you can't do that. It didn't really thwart him a lot because he just continued writing. And he wanted to write hymns that went with the church seasons and the holy days that were celebrated. But his real call was to mission work. And so finally, at last, the bishop appointed him as a missionary to India. And he was a little over 40 years old when he arrived there. He toured, he preached, he went around. India is a hot country, and so on April 3rd of 1826, he was in Calcutta preaching to a huge crowd of people. And it was hot, and he was hot, and he preached for a long time. And when he was done, he decided that pool of cool water was just the thing, and he jumped in and had a stroke and died. But his widow wanted to keep his dream alive, and so she went to his friends and said, can't we at least publish this book of 57 hymns that he wrote for the church year? And they worked hard, and about 6 or 7 years after his death, they published hymns written and adapted for the weekly service of the church year. And in that book was this hymn, Holy, Holy, Holy. So I invite you to stand as you're able as we celebrate the Trinity using Reverend Herber's words, hymn number 64.